All right, tonight we're going to dive into a pretty chilling modern horror story, one that's been making the rounds online. It's a story that takes something totally innocent, toy collecting, and twists it into an absolute supernatural nightmare.
And it really all boils down to this one simple, super unsettling question. I mean, think about it. Dolls are supposed to be comforting, right? A piece of our childhood. But this story makes you wonder if something way more sinister is hiding behind those cute little eyes.
So, our story kicks off in Shanghai with a young woman named Mei Lin. She absolutely loves collecting dolls. She even works in a toy shop, so she's always on the lookout for something unique. And one day, she finds it. What she found was a limited edition Labubu doll, but it was unlike any she'd ever seen. It had this amazing golden fur, these really striking blue eyes, and this totally adorable big-toothed smile. Mei Lin was just over the moon, and of course, she took it home right away. But you know how these stories go. That excitement didn't last long. Almost as soon as she brought the doll into her apartment, things started to get weird. Really weird. And it all started with her best friend. The very first warning sign, the first huge red flag, came from her dog, Bao. Now, Bao usually loved her dolls, but with the Labubu, it was pure terror. We're talking loud, aggressive barking, growling. He was so scared he bolted from the room and just refused to come back in. Then, the strangeness started to latch onto Mei Lin herself. She was known for being super sweet and easygoing, but out of nowhere at work, she has this sudden, violent outburst. She just starts screaming at a customer over something tiny. It was so not her that her boss fired her right then and there. Mei Lin had no earthly idea what just happened. So of course, she's completely confused, totally upset, and she heads home. But that night is when things go from just being unsettling to downright terrifying. Though whatever it is in her apartment is about to make itself known. In the dead of night, a sound wakes her up. It's laughter. A creepy, disembodied laugh echoing in her room. She glances over and sees the Labubu doll, which was on its shelf, is now lying on the floor in a dark corner. Freaked out, she puts it back and tries to get back to sleep. And that's when the nightmare begins. She dreams of grotesque creatures in her room. It has this decaying red body, huge, sharp teeth, and its claws, they're even sharper. It lets out that same horrible laugh before it just lunges at her, its hands wrapping around her throat. Mei Lin wakes up with a scream, gasping for air. But the nightmare? Oh, it's not over. The Labubu doll is no longer on the shelf. It's sitting right on her chest, just staring down at her. And as she's looking at it, frozen in terror, its cute smile seems wider and a whole lot more evil. The next morning, that line between nightmare and reality completely disappears. Things are about to get so much worse, and the true horror of what she brought into our home is about to be revealed. Mei Lin wakes up with a killer headache and sees all these weird little red marks on her hands. But her first thought is for her dog, Bao. She calls his name, but it's just silence. She starts frantically searching the entire apartment, and you can just feel that cold panic starting to set in. Her search leads her to the kitchen, and that's where she freezes. The Labubu doll is sitting there by the sink, but it's different. That cute smile is now a sickening, wide grin, and its golden fur, its big teeth, they're all stained with something dark red. Her eyes follow this horrifying trail from the doll's stained hands down to the cabinet right below the sink. She slowly, so slowly opens the door, and that's where she finds him. It's Bao. His body is it's been torn apart. Completely heartbroken and just terrified out of her mind, Mei Lin does what any of us would do. She gets on the internet, desperately searching for anything about these dolls. And what she finds is a confirmation of her worst fears. She is not alone. There are stories from all over the world about cursed Labubu dolls causing people to lose their jobs, get sick, and in some absolutely horrifying cases, even causing the death of a loved one. She now knows she's dealing with something truly evil. She has to get this doll out of her life. So she decides she's going to end this nightmare herself, once and for all. She takes the doll outside and lights it on fire, watching it until it's literally just a pile of ash. To be extra sure, she scoops up the ashes, seals them in a jar, and throws the whole thing into a river, just hoping the current will wash the curse away for good. And for a moment, she feels this wave of relief. It's over.
But the curse wasn't broken. Not at all. The very next morning, Mei-Lin is found dead in her apartment. She met the exact same brutal, horrific end as her poor dog.
And lying right there next to her body, completely unharmed, looking just as new as the day she bought it, is the golden Labubu doll, and its smile is as wide as ever.
As stories just like Mei-Lin's started to spread online, so did the theories trying to explain what was going on, and the legend grew. A lot of people now believe these dolls aren't just cursed objects, they're actually vessels for a really powerful and ancient demon, Pazuzu.
And believe it or not, these viral horror stories have had some serious real-world consequences. We're talking several countries have reportedly banned the sale of these dolls. There are even stories about priests being called in to perform actual exorcisms on them. This legend has absolutely taken on a life of its own.
So that brings us back to the question we started with. Is this all just a really well-crafted urban legend for our digital age? A spooky story that just taps into our deepest fears? Or, as you think about that little doll with its big, wide smile, do you feel a little chill? And do you start to wonder if maybe a cute doll really can be deadly?